Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. Happy Tuesday to you. So yesterday I got to have the distinct pleasure of going on with Adam, who is Splendid Sports Cards. He has a really cool show. It's called 3 on 3, and he just talks to different collectors. It's kind of a series, and you get to talk about the hobby a little bit, your story, and then show 3 cards that you want to add to your collection, 3 cards that you are your favorites in your collection. So really fun, highly recommend it. I'll put the link down below to my appearance on that show. Go watch it. Maybe check out some of Adam's other stuff if you want to subscribe. Great guy, great collection, has some really cool stuff. Lots of different cool stuff too. So just wanted to throw that out there that I did that yesterday. I wanted to thank Adam for having me on. I always love doing that stuff. Yeah. So I got back today the Sam Thompson autograph. And I want to put some context around some things because I talked about this yesterday with Andy doing our On the Fly episode over on Bench Clear, and I got a lot of criticism in the comments about what I did. So let me tell you guys what I did and why I did this, and make your own judgment. So number one, Sam Thompson autograph. Extremely valuable, so and extremely rare. Like, this is something that it's not an 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey that if it gets lost in the mail, you know, it would suck, but it's not the end of the world. This is literally irreplaceable, and so very unique, very one of a kind. There's only 5 autographs of this guy known to exist. I have one of them. I'm going to be very careful. So I call up a friend who works at PSA DNA, a guy in the hobby. And I said, hey, who do I need to send this to? I don't want to send it through the regular channels and all of that. So please, you know, just give me a person to get it to. And I think some people misunderstood that when I was talking about it, that I was trying to cut in line, so to speak, and get in front of other people. I mean, I know that's not true because I have orders from January, March, and May up there. Wait, is that right? Hold on, I've already said this before. March, July, and October. I just got the January one back. So October 2021, a year ago. So don't, you know, this wasn't I didn't care if it got put in the queue, so to speak, and just sat there to be autographed whenever it was my turn. I wanted to assure that it got to a person and logged properly and all of that, and didn't just go into the netherworld of PSA DNA. I did pay a lot of money to have this authenticated. A lot of people were like, why would anybody, you know, one guy, his quote was, "You're an idiot if you paid the money that you paid to get this done." And I'm like, well, then I'm an idiot, because that's what it costs. And it was $250 just to have the autograph authenticated. That's what Sam Thompson costs. Each player costs a different number. They're not all the same, depending on how much research they have to do, et cetera, et cetera. The cost of authenticating an autograph is not universal. It is variable. And so his is $250, which is one of the highest ones. Because there are so few things, I have a lot of questions to answer about this, but I'll flip it around and answer some more in a second. But, so $250 for that. I had to pay a surcharge because they upcharge you based on the value of the item. So I had to pay an upcharge on top of that for the value of the item. And then I got the autograph graded, shipping, insurance, all of that, $429. That's what it costs. And I happily paid it. And you're like, that's so stupid. Why would you ever do that? Well, because this is such a rare item that I wanted it authenticated, encapsulated, and graded. And that's what it costs. I mean, and it adds tremendous value on the other end. Not that I plan on selling it, but if I did, or when I die or whatever, it's going to be way easier to move this than having to go through the whole rigmarole of everything that happened. So I sent it specifically to my friend so that it got done, so that it just got logged properly. Okay, it's there. Good. Take as long as you want. Well, they turned it around really quickly. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask them to do it fast. I didn't any of that. That's just when they did it. I don't control that. I have zero control over that. And I didn't pay to have it expedited. So the fact that it got back to, like, I literally sent it on the 4th of October. It was logged, received and logged on the 6th of October, and I got it back yesterday on the 17th, 11 days later. Great. Again, I still have tons of cards there waiting to be, and I'm not even mad. Like, I'd actually rather have this back faster than the other stuff because the other stuff is easily replaceable. I don't want to lose it. I'd rather have it back sooner than later, but I'm not, it's all, you know, going in the beast. So it can get there whenever it gets there. I'm okay with that. So the criticisms that I was receiving about, you know, all that, it's like, wait a second. I didn't pay to skip in line. I didn't ask to be skipped in line and moved to the front, or however they did it. I don't know. But I'm glad I have it back. So it is what it is. Let me flip it around and I'll answer some questions about the item itself for you guys, because I got some on the last video about this. And so hang on, let's talk about it. All right, so like I said, it did come back. It was graded authentic. If you want to know what this is, this ball down here, go watch Adam's video and you'll hear about it. That's one of the most special items in my entire collection. And you'll hear the story of why if you click that link down below, like I said earlier. But here is, that's him, Sam Thompson. Here's the autograph, authenticated, came back, authentic postcard, auto grade 9. I did pay to have the autograph graded. That's how I like my autographs for at least one example in my collection of the Hall of Famers, because that's the way it is put on the set registry. You have to have the autograph graded. And I thought it looked good. And now it's a pop 1, none higher. So it's super awesome, because I don't think the other guys that have done this have gotten theirs graded on the autograph. But here it is. And it's forever home, slabbed up. And there were a lot of questions about this, which I think is great, that people thought to ask these questions. And I thought I would try to clear some things up. I'm going to do some speculating, but I don't think what I'm going to say is unreasonable. The first thing is, this is from, it was written Detroit, November 20th, 1907. And it says, here's hoping that baby enjoys her first Thanksgiving, Uncle Sam. So Sam Thompson, Uncle Sam. So again, Sam never had any kids of his own. This was to his niece. And I got a couple of questions about, okay, this is a postcard, by the way. I mean, there's the front, back, front, whatever part of it. Greetings from Detroit. It's very ornate. It's almost like glitter on it, if you were to feel it, which I did earlier when I had it unslabbed. But back in the day, in 1907, there weren't greeting cards like there are now. And so what you would do if you were going to visit someone and you wanted to give them a card, you might pick up a postcard like this and write out a little note and then give it to them as like a greeting card. Notice there's no stamp and there's no real address. It just says Miss Georgie or George Blair, Sally, Washington, or whatever that city is, you know. So it's not really addressed to anyone. And there's no stamp. So this was never mailed. It was probably just handed to her from her Uncle Sam and Aunt Ida. Ida was his wife's name. And so that's why there's no stamp. I think it was just used as like a card that you would put with a gift, or a, hey, good to see you, or whatever. So that's why that is that way. It's also possible that it was just never mailed. Like, he wrote it out back in 1907 and never mailed it, or intended to send it to her later, or whatever. But there is zero question that that is Sam Thompson's autograph, at least his first name. And PSA agreed, based on the provenance, the family history, all of that. I mean, this is truly a piece of history, a piece of just collecting amazingness. Rarity is no doubt. So that is kind of the story, and some things that I got questions about in the last video about it, and I wanted to address those. They were all very fair questions, by the way. I just thought, you know, let me try to explain why I think this might be the way it is, and those seem reasonable. So there it is. So glad to have this back in my collection. And yeah, I mean, I think I paid $3,000. I got about 3,500 into it total. And I would guess if I sold it at auction, given that the auto is graded, etc., it would probably be in the $10,000 to $15,000 range, would be my guess. So grading it added significant value, way above and beyond what I paid to have it slabbed. So that's why I did it. And again, glad to own it. So that's that. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for making comments down below. Let me know what you think. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Keep collecting.